Life is precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
What is happening? Welcome back to another episode of the I AFYL Podcast. And today, if life is hard, then choose your hard. And this is stemming from something I did last night. I don't normally do this, but I did it, and I'm going to share it with you. So, if life is hard, then choose your heart. There's a lot of things that are hard about life. There's a lot of things, a lot of decisions that typically come up just in a day, and what we should be focused on, and what we should be accomplishing, and what I should be accomplishing, for that matter. But last night I had done a bunch of things yesterday. My throat was tired because I had been talking and kind of going for a long time. So I was just kind of relaxing, and I was on YouTube. And I hadn't been on Grant Cardone's YouTube channel in a while. And I saw that he had posted something on his YouTube channel from when he did the Undercover Billionaires, that show on Discovery Channel. He did that in 2020. And I think I'd watched maybe one episode, but I hadn't really watched it. But it looked like he had posted all the episodes, and he was like talking about behind the scenes. That's all. Let me check out the behind the scenes. And so let me kind of put this in context. Grant Cardone was put in a town, not even really a city, but he was put in a town. Obviously, no one knew him. All he has is $100 to his name. He has nowhere to live, nowhere to stay. He has nothing except $100. He knows nobody. And he has to come to this town, and he has to create $1 million business within 90 days. Now, I haven't watched the whole thing. But from what I understand, he did it. However, before we get that far, let's just stay right at this very beginning. He comes to a town, and he can't use his name. That's another thing. So he can't say, "Hey, I'm Grant Cardone." I think his name was Louis. Oh my goodness, Louis something. This name was, I think it was like names that his father, maybe his father's middle names or something like that. So he's using these names. And then COVID hit and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm not going to get into all of the backstories and things that happened, because what I'm most interested in the story is the hard that he had to actually do. Like, imagine, everything that I'm saying, like, you have to do it. And so he had to go into a situation where he couldn't actually be himself. And he couldn't use the resources that he would normally use. He couldn't call anybody he knew. He had to literally create new contacts in a town where no one knew him. He had no family, no relatives, and he's walking around with a camera crew. So that looks weird. And so he's going to make up a story on why this camera crew is with him, and he's got to create $1 million business from scratch. And so, all right. Now let's get into what we're talking about today. If life is hard, choose your heart. My day starts pretty hard every morning. I go into the hard. I go into the gym. I put myself through some pain. It's pretty much, within the first, within the first hour plus, I'm at the gym. And when I think about it, it's hard. It's very hard. Now, the thing about it being hard is that it's hard, but that's the hard that I'm choosing. There's one of my favorite passages, and it seems pretty, it doesn't even seem like it applies, but it does. It says, "But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all things will be added to you." I believe I'm seeking first the kingdom when I'm working on my mind and my body every single morning. I'm seeking the kingdom. I'm allowing the kingdom to transform me every single day. And when I do it, it's almost like the renewing happens. So I know that's a hard, but that ain't even everything. It's hard to do it. Listen, it's hard to do this. And I'm saying it's hard to do this. Even look, I've got a small a listener audience, very small. It's not huge, but either way, I still show up, and it's hard. And as I was thinking about it this morning, I was like, man, like someone's coming up with content, and I'm not using artificial intelligence to come up with content, because I'm coming up with content that's unique to my life experience. So that's the difference between like, yeah, I could go to AI and generate all kinds of things. But it wouldn't be generated from me. And since it won't be generated from me, I don't even feel comfortable doing it. So this podcast is based on a heart that I've chosen to create. Right? I've chosen to create a heart, and the heart is every day there's going to be something created that will speak of my life experience. Just about everything that I talk about on this podcast is just a life experience. It's not even like I'm typically not talking about things that I'm not experiencing or experienced. That's pretty much what it is. And so we all have a life. Count for your life. We all have a life, and we all have to say to ourselves, okay, think about this. If life is hard, because life is hard, then I should just choose something that's hard to me now, but within a certain amount of time, it won't be hard. I look at my son, and he's decided to go into this hard. Like, he's like, Dad, I'm gonna come with you to the gym 6 days a week. Well, obviously, that'll end in August. Into August, he'll have to do it himself. But hopefully by then he'll have it down pat. So everyone has to choose their heart. If life is hard, choose your heart. Lastly, I was thinking about some things that's happening around me. It's not even just happening to me. I'm thinking about things that's happening around me. And I'm looking at different scenarios and in this person's life, in this person's life. And it's interesting. Here's what's so interesting. We all have this heart. Like yesterday, one of my family members, she just said that, hey, like she wanted to learn sales. Like she was just like, I really need to learn how to sell. And I was just like, wow, that's her heart. That's her stepping into, I'm going to choose the heart and just go for it. There may be, and I'll throw myself in here and I would say to do the marketing. Marketing is one of these things where you have to do it all the time. You have to actually do it. It's hard. It's hard because people have to see you. It's like, doing a podcast, I guess I don't even feel like it's marketing, even though it is somewhat some marketing. But it's a choice. So everything is a choice. Back to seeking first the kingdom, because I want to end here. The kingdom is set up in such a way that when we do seek the kingdom, then we start to do something that is hard. That is not going to be easy. Why do I say it's not going to be easy? Because you cannot see the kingdom. You can't go and say, you know what, I'm going to just drive over to the kingdom and talk to the king. No, you can't see. So because you can't see the kingdom, then that's going to be a hard thing to do. And, luckily I've got great mentors in my life that I could learn from when it comes to the kingdom, like Dr. Miles. And Dr. Miles, he talks all about his kingdom life. He talks all about what he learned and what he's done in order to choose his heart, and how to organize and prioritize and, and how to pretty much stay on top of the things. And it comes down to, I'm gonna tell you what it comes down to. You ready? It comes down to the big D. What is the big D, Jay? The big D is discipline. Discipline. When we're doing hard things, we will discover that we need discipline in order to stay with it. We need discipline in order to really to push through. We need discipline because discipline is what's going to make or break, the results that we get. And so as I, think about this, seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. It's the discipline. It's the organization, and it's the prioritizing of what it is that I have to do, being organized in such a way that I know exactly what to do. I think in 2021, I did a training, and when I looked at what organization is, I was like, man, organization is the key, is one of the biggest keys to success. Being organized. Man, I'm not as organized as I need to be. Pray for me. Pray for a brother. I'm not as organized as I need to be. And I'm gonna declare today that organization in the second half of this year will become a superpower. I'm praying right now that God has imparted this organization into me, because when you are organized, it makes things easier, and it makes the discipline part easier. Because look, when it comes to discipline, most people are afraid of discipline. That's why when people look at hard things, they don't want to do them. And they're just like, yo, these things, this stuff is too hard. The discipline around it is hard. Hey, good morning, PB. The discipline around it is just too much for me. But if we prioritize first, right? If we prioritize first, see, priority is first, right? Because if we get some priority around what it is that we need to organize, then you organize. Now you have the priority, you have the organizing, which is just giving you the order and giving you the structure. And then it's the discipline to stay organized and to stay with the priorities. So hard is relative, because life's going to be hard no matter what. However, we first got to choose a hard so that life doesn't choose it for us, because life will come and say, here's your hard. Oh, you want to do that? Oh, you're undisciplined? Oh, let me give you this. Oh, you decided not to be organized? Oh, check this out, chaos. Oh, you decided not to have priority. Now we're going to put everything in front of you and you get nothing done. Oops. So if life's hard, prioritize, organize, and stay disciplined. So that's it, guys. If life is hard, choose your heart. Make sure that you choose it, prioritize, organize, and stay disciplined to what it is that you know you have to accomplish by seeking first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all the things will be added to you. So, guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Your Life podcast. Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless. I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great